Hey, is it my turn? I made a playlist. You all know who this is. This is Timm. Timm is the daddy we always wish we had. Anyways, the first song on it, Sunday, you've heard it, because it's in all his TikToks. He is like the Casey Neistat of TikToks, daily vlogs. I love the way he documents. I love how he notices the small little things. So, obviously, another TikTok-inspired song, the second one, this Ethiopian jazz song is fucking lovely. And so, I wanted to share this with you. So in my Instagram, obviously, because there's no links in TikTok, but in Instagram, yeah, you'll see Linktree. So first link, go give it a listen. I think you'll enjoy it. And it's the perfect for your Sunday. Whatever you do in your Sunday, you have people over to entertain, play it. It's beautiful. Even if the songs kind of bug you, don't skip them.
You will learn to like them. Hey, you want to know more about Timm? I put together a couple videos from TikTok that kind of show you how he makes these little vlogs. And I want you to sort of focus in on the little details that he picks up and just the whole story. And they look incredibly complicated to make, and I want to make them. So enjoy them. You'll get a sense for who Timm is and why I wanted to make this playlist, because I think he truly is the daddy that we always wish we had. All right, enjoy.
This is the day before Thanksgiving in your 40s. You were happy to jump out of bed just before 4, do some work, and go have a quick pump. Your wife of 17 years is ecstatic. You're only 12 hours from this scene, which means your in-laws have arrived and are staying with you for the week. But for now it's just 6:15 and she has to go to work and you gotta get your kid up. Throw on a bit of Rick Owens, grab her and her Rubik's Cube, and head to the family kickboxing gym. And then you're off to Nevins, to the 2-3, to the square, to the 1 to 50. You got your ones on the marble and then you're into the people shoot. It's a relatively easy stroll through your morning meetings that day. Then you're back through your marble to Sweetgreen and your new friend that will definitely be in a book of appreciation chapter one day. Your podcast launch is discussed while lunch is eaten and a smile is given. A new bar, a moment of reflection, keystrokes, and homework. The sun goes down as you pack up and head out past the nuts and the wangs and the lights to the subway. Then you're off and down and back again, and Donna and Paul are here for the week. Puffy gets fed as snack hour commences. You wrap and prep for 4 a.m. the next morning, and a sip and thanks for being able to say, this is the day before Thanksgiving in your 40s. POV. You're 45 and never tried a White Claw. Maybe one sip before? It's the Friday after Thanksgiving. You got up at about 4 and folded laundry for clean clothes and did what you usually do before a 5 a.m. chat with the missus. She locks you in to voice something over, and then you happen to run into her at her gym before sneaking out as her class starts. Back home in a quick turn. The F is surprisingly running well today. You head into Midtown Manhattan, past the tourists and through the revolving doors. Up to 40, the top coat comes off, and a much smarter snack choice today. Couple of waffles before hours of typing annual reviews, feedback on copy, and 11 emails to yourself to organize your weekend to-dos and start Monday agendas. You have lunch for lunch and keep chipping away. After the bowl goes down, the afternoon flies by, and you do a bit of homework and then head to the park behind the library. There is skating to be done and donuts to be had, and then back to Brooklyn and a stop for rotisserie chicken and tortillas. You head through the park to warm them up, and then dinner in the actual dining room. A wipe down and a suck up, before snack hour and the thing that tasted okay for a second but was kind of gross and led to this POV. You're 45 and never tried a White Claw. Maybe one sip before? It's the Friday. You cried at the office right before packing up and heading out. It was about 14 hours into your day as you started to make the trek home. It's that lovely time of year where 49th Street is closed to cars. You chipped away at some creative process slides before walking the same way you walked 12 hours ago. Just backwards. Your subway ride in was reminiscent of 2019. Ladies and gentlemen, we have train congestion ahead of us. So when you get into the office, you're not going to take your jacket off until about halfway through your first meeting. You managed to do your homework early before microwaving your waffle, which is dangerously close to lunchtime. You'd see John again in about 10 minutes during Win the Week, which is actually a 90-minute call, after which you went and mailed some more holiday cards and then grabbed the real lunch. And at this point, you're only about 5 hours away from dinner. It is Monday night, and therefore there are fish tacos in your house. There's not even a question about it. Bussin' would be an understatement, and your kid is ready for the halftime show at the Nets game this Friday. Next comes the cleanup, before the skincare, before the snack hour, which was about 16 hours into your day, and about 4 hours after the meeting in which you cried. Considering the circumstances, it was totally understandable, because you know how goddamn lucky you are to say that this is your POV. You cried at the office right before packing up and heading out. You're just finishing making your waffle stack to bring into work when your wife texts you. The sky's so pretty. I love you. You had just said goodbye to her maybe a half hour before. She needs to be at work by 6:30, which is partly why you get up so early and do your thing. You were home from your quick run on time to make a waffle and then help with Mandarin, as much as you can help with Mandarin, which is not a lot. Your elixir, your waffle, her advent calendar, and elf. Which brings us back to that text which made you go out on the stoop at first and then to the roof, which timed perfectly with the G train rumbling by. Then you better get your butt in gear because you gotta get your daughter to school on time. Past your wife's aforementioned place of work to the school and then to see General Aki. If he wasn't there, you'll try again another day. It's right around the corner. Drop off your bike and then stare at the F train with the emergency brakes pulled. So you'll jump on the next one, which ends up turning into a G, which leads you to the A and then back to a C. Or maybe that was the E. Either way, it doesn't matter. Because as you head into the office, you're just glad you took the time to look at the sky because of the text your amazing wife sent you at the beginning of this POV. You're just finishing making your waffle stack. This is your unsanctioned high school reunion in your 40s. It's Sunday morning in Brooklyn, New York, and it's your favorite day of the year. Cold shower, long johns, Canadian tuxedo, you're flying to Toronto. This has been in your calendar for 364 days. Because in 1995, you made the somewhat weird decision to go to Canada for school. Even though you're from New York, this place made you who you are, and your best man from your wedding picks you up at the airport. It's the annual second Sunday before Christmas reunion at Betty's on King Street, but it's closed. No one really comes here otherwise, so you had no idea that it now opens at 4. Plan B through the St. Lawrence Market to the Banksy. There's a lot of hugs to be had. You, Ross, Johnny, and Bryce are the first to arrive. Bar food, beer, and football. Make room for Drew, the man you call Screw. He's been giving you that look since 96. And here comes Mackie, the table is complete. First 4 hours fly by, Betty's is open, let's go. That's more like it. Let's grab our table in the back and talk about everything we won't tell anybody else. At some point, Drew will stand over your shoulder like this, and Bryce will look at you like that. And then a few more hugs before you catch the 6:20 home. It is a school night. You're American made, but you're Canadian at heart. POV. So you heard Ego as soon as you got off the train and you hadn't even gone up the stairs. The smile I put on your face that Wednesday morning was similar to the one you had here. The note from her elf said doing the right thing is always the right thing. And the note from her mom said, good morning, my little dumpling. Good luck on your science test. The smiley-faced waffle you had made her right before this was far from Pinterest-worthy. But at 45, you're comfortable with good vibes being about the thought, not about perfection. Which is why you still feel like you fumble through your morning routine, just trying to do the best you can with the time you have. You quickly tidy the basement, get yourself ready, and take her to school. The sun on her elf headband, the headphones that you can edit. The desktop is now clean, and Ego gives you a smile. Let's go corporate. Sounds crazy, but your 6.5 hours of meetings are reasonable. Shannon wants to help you be heard in Mandarin. Tracy tells you who this guy is. A good chat with Josh. A quick run for the salad you have every day. A bunch of one-on-ones, and then the latest campaign pitch. Dinner with John, who you've known since then. And Doug, your good friend and HR leader for a decade. The bromance that never ends in the subway ride home. A gift from Doug, those two faces, and snack hour. And if I'm really lucky, I'll say POV. It's the Monday before Christmas in New York City. You're anxiously awaiting this mother, one of your best friends since middle school. A light pat on the butt and then tacos are ordered. You half joke about what the food might do to your old man's stomach, but you know it's a goddamn gift to catch up around the holidays. It's a delicious but quick meetup. You're on call, as they say. A work project a year in the making is launching tonight, and you've got some executive coaching classwork to catch up on. Nothing that can't be handled during snack hour. Right before folding the laundry that you walked away from 14 hours ago, which was about 3 hours after your alarm that got you up to stick to the routine, to get to the gym, to get back home, to try to get yourself pretty to head out the door. On the subway, you had extra bags, including gifts for your boss and a man named Caswell. Soda and a waffle for breakfast at your desk. 5.5 hours of meetings, some super intense, some not. It's pretty gosh darn late by the time you head out the door to grab lunch, which you consider kind of an appetizer before jumping on the Q or the R to 23rd to grab tacos with your friend Dante. Which brings you back to the laundry, and the last thing you'll do before a quick sip in front of the fire before heading upstairs without the laundry that you'll grab during tomorrow's POV. It's the Monday before Christmas in New York City. This is traveling solo in your 40s. Your lap looks like the self-help aisle puked on your high school notebook. The food and beverage cart are both calling your name. It's snack hour back home. The recline box will have to do. It's the only way to get to pop. You order a Michelob Ultra for the first time in God knows how long. You read about how women at the seed level boost financial performance. You come across dots for the first time. And you say thank you out loud in the bathroom after the words severe turbulence end up not coming to fruition. You study the hell out of your department's year-end budget forecasting. As if on cue, the lights on the Brooklyn Bridge go out as you roll by. The skyline is always majestic, and you deserve a quick sip before going to bed super late. An unintentional 18-hour day that started in Beaverton, in Oregon. Past the local dispo with the wife, you get in 4 before making a quick TikTok and taking the coldest shower in Oregon. You know the rules at the airport mean there are no rules, and therefore a Diet Cherry Coke is part of breakfast. The first flight home, which was direct, gets cancelled. Let's go to Denver. It's a good thing you had 2 of these. You're about to sit on the tarmac for an hour before going back to the gate for an hour, but it's all good because you know that safe and sound is all that matters when this is traveling solo in your 40s. POV. It's January 1st, 2022. You're heading to Coney Island to go take a dip in the Atlantic. This will be about your 8th dip in the past 10 years. It's a pretty mild New Year's Day, so you get off easy. The day started as most do, with a 4 a.m. alarm, a quick drink, and a bit of work. With a fresh year ahead of you, you go to the basement and grab your stuff to go out for a 4-mile walk and collect your thoughts. You get to the last page of the process to delete your TikTok account, but think, maybe one more day. You haven't gone for a run in God knows how long, so the thought of running a marathon later that year scares the crap out of you. You finish your New Year's Day walk, and then the family makes a family trip to the family gym. Change for the beach, groceries for dinner, and beer for the week. Next thing you know, you're swimming in the Atlantic and then having delicata squash and chicken meatballs. A bit of Uno 2 and spaghetti for your daughter before cleaning up and dusting the mezzanine. It's early on a Saturday, so you take a quick stroll and let her buy a donut for dessert. During snack hour, you dream of the upcoming trip to Paris in August and wonder what else 2022 might have in store and how it will look from your POV. It's your 18th Christmas together. The ornament that she gave you, based on this photo from your Christmas card, is everything. Your 10-year-old is pretty stoked about how the day turned out. The cookies and hot chocolate were well received, and the tree was perfectly set. The tiny paper letters are the best dad gifts you could get. There's matching bracelets, an adopted blue jay, and glasses that she's really stoked about. And while she would never say it out loud, you feel like you missed the mark with the missus. To your credit, a lot of things have been arriving late, and thankfully the neighbors are grabbing the packages for you. As you run past the Allen Market, the panic attack about life overall is modest, but conversation over air hockey brings you back. No question, you wish the entire family was able to sit around the same table that day, but that's just more reason to not take any of these moments for granted. There's an end-of-day walk in the woods, and larger agreement that it was a wonderful Christmas. The puzzle you try to help her solve that night feels impossible, and that's exactly why you need all 3 of you to create this